course, it's me, Paulus, sitting in for your usual and regular host, Owuahene Enchiboesiakon. Today, it's unfortunate we may not have him, as he's slightly indisposed. God willing, and thankfully maybe tomorrow, he will join us, and then we'll continue where we are leaving off. The Dialogue is the name of the program. Like I said, it's how we open the curtains for our transmission today, our live transmission, let me put it that way, for our programs on Net2 TV. We promise you exciting times and a lineup of our shows. This week, of course, it is the 27th day of February 2023, the penultimate day for the month of February. How's it gone for you? Well, for me, it's gone quite well. It's okay, no major problems. Just recovering from, the economic challenges that has been posed for everyone. And on behalf of the production team, we say good morning and welcome to the show once again. Later on, I'll be joined by the OT regional organizer for the New Patriotic Party as we engage in the dialogue, which we call the Conversation for the Nation. His name is Felix Ade, and in a couple of moments, I'll be introducing him to engage in the dialogue. Of course, Abena will be joining me on the glass table to have a look at what's in the front, middle, and the back pages of the various newspapers as assembled in front of me. And as you can see, there are quite a few. So without wasting much time, let's take a look at the front and back pages of the various newspapers as we have them today. The Ghanaian Times kicks off our look at the front pages, and this week, or for today, we have increased SHS quota to 40%. CRI advocates, that's the Child Rights International, is advocating for an increase in the SHS quota to 40%. Agyapong, man of peace, development-oriented. President eulogizes late paramount chief of Gonja traditional area. Still on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, first results expected from tight Nigeria elections. This issue from Nigeria, the results, issues about the election results is what my guest and I may probably take a look at. Government committed to deepening decentralization in Ghana than Boche. So at the back page of the Ghanaian Times, more than prepared to serve after charge exoneration. Deputy Minister for Gender claims. So as you can see on the front page is the front page of the Ghanaian Times. I'm currently reading the back page headline stories. Ediana eliminates Kotoko from FA Cup, and Dreams FC trash Liberty to advance. The Daily Guide is our next port of call, and we have increased SHS quota to 40%, Child Rights International. So then again, similar to the headline on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide says increase SHS quota to 40%. What is all about this headline? We'll be taking a look when Abena joins me to look at the headlines and matters around attacks June and EC. Lassa fever kills one. IMF makes debt resolution case for Ghana. And government committed to deepening decentralization than Boche. Right, so that's the Daily Guide for you. The Daily Graphic is our next port of call. And the cocoa industry under threat. Illegal miners destroy rehabilitated farms. That's the front page of the Daily Graphic, and that headline is a bit not too pleasant to consume this morning. When my guest is seated, we'll take a look at the threat of the cocoa industry by Galamsey practitioners. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, President Akufo-Addo, Bokunaba renew commitment to lasting peace. On this same Boku Naba issue, you remember somewhere last week, the chief of the Mamprugu traditional area nominated another candidate for the Boku stool, and the government immediately vehemently rejected that enskinment by the Mamprugu overlord. So it's an interesting situation right here. And the Daily Graphic's headline says, President akufo-addo, Boku Naba renew commitment to lasting peace. Nigeria elections will be credible, INEC boss. Reverend Wengam takes over as 7th Assemblies of God General Superintendent. And mining firms should undertake legacy projects. That's the front page of the Daily Graphic. If we turn our attention to the back page, we have Ediana Pip Kotoko to advance. And Faisal through to round of 8. I suppose it's the FA Cup competition, which was hosted at some selected centers in the country over the weekend. And league leaders, Ediana Stars, pipped defending league champions, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, to advance to the last 8. Right, the front page of the New Crusading Guide is our next port of call, and I am for peace. Boku Naba declares 2023 school selection and placement exercise very successful. Macho men invade Jurassica Niasem and back on extortion spree, terrorize and beat residents. That's such an alarming headline, and we'll take a look at that as well. Ghana First challenges Obi Amwa to come clear on ultra-modern automated toilet agreement. Special prosecutor petitioned to investigate GRA boss. NAELP coordinator urges mining firms to undertake legacy projects. It's the story. The next stop is the Daily Statesman, and we have on its front page, I'm committed to peace. Boku Naba reassures or assures President akufo-addo. DDEP, that's the domestic debt restructuring exercise, government concludes CD-dominated bonds. Still on the front page of the Daily Statesman, Kandapa says we don't need foreign troops to fight terrorism. 2 Lassa fever cases confirmed in Ghana. We hope this will be the last of the 2 cases of the Lassa fever cases we are hearing of. And the last but not the least, we have its official, Sednam. And we are looking at the front page of the Chronicle, I beg your pardon. It's official, Sednam absconds in 500,000 Ghana cedis, and Ghana must go back trial. Kohuma Hene served with substituted service in contempt case brought against him. Minerals Commission resolves Jiashin mining and Achim Akokwaso residence difference. Missing Abongo boy found. Mahama tells Christians, don't run away from politics. So these are the headlines on the front page of the Chronicle, and that brings down the curtain on the cursory look at the front page headlines for the papers as we have them this morning. And also joining me on the glass table this morning is Abena Kuma. Abena, good morning.
Good morning.
Calling shirt, dress, Monday,
oh, senior. I learn from you.
Oh, you sure? Nice one. You are a very good student.
Oh, you know. I'm very fine. I hope you are fine too.
Same here. How have you been? How was the weekend?
Oh, the weekend was good. This particular weekend was good.
Now, Joy, fine. You rested, or you attended social events?
No. I was home throughout.
Okay.
Yeah. And I ate the food that I wanted to, so it was good.
That's right. You had all the time to prepare what you wanted. Right, so we have...
Bangu Keshito.
Bangu Keshito. Kevin, Kenan Papago. That's right. Right, so there she goes, and that's our how do I say it? Conveyor belt for newspaper review and headlines this morning.
There's Lassa fever.
Lassa fever.
Yes. Ghana Health Service at the Krataba Bonting. Bushan for Montieni yo. Say Lassa fever no ma recorded 2 cases in Ghana. First one who say be an omodin obedu kolebunia. Dr. Patrick Kumabwa just 5 hours spent a week. Damn. Yeah. Now a drew stage now.
He was admitted at the late stage, I suppose.
Yes. Okay. And they didn't even know say yeah.
Okay, yes.
So,
yes.
And actually no more the sample no call no Gucci no na confirm say no ne no. And the close contact see also admission e wo kolebu. Oma fa nipa 56 almost year close contact to the person who died no. Oba it was a female, 46-year-old.
Okay.
And so omo ye omo koye omo samples no. Omo ba behwe say omo so anya bia na asese.
So if I get you right, or your contact tracing.
Yes.
And through the contact tracing,
they've been able to get 56 people.
That's right.
They've taken all their samples to Nguchi. Dr. Bukuma Buaji said it is their hope that most of them will prove negative.
Okay.
They are hoping so. But what I can say, the Lassa fever is here. Inti Ghana for Momaya Moya Mobile. Rodents. Nkura ene nkusie ne sa emwa no omo no
bishi can be
amen omo no de is sa ya de ne ba
right.
Yeah, we get it from their feces.
Okay.
Yes.
And urine.
Yeah. Enti moma ye ni ehu ni obi wo ho ani fie nkura je ho aboso ne kitchen nkura je ho aboso kitchen na wonu aduane na ho na nkura da Sadie omonya Lassa ni bi o de bi bebre enti ye be stress obia e be hwe ne ho so yie na we are hoping say emma ye bebre to send your COVID-19 year no ye pene sa enti no omaye mo ye ho ba ye see symptoms a obe hu no you feel chest pain, you feel feverish, obe ye weak, once obe having nausea, bi wo ho kra na edru latter stage ne dia you will see say blood will be oozing from your nose and all that. And no dey no wadru akire na aka kra bi na wo kwa no enti momaye ni ehu ni why na who bibi sanso so a omoden ase as early as possible no be reporting. And Ghana Health Service just said my alert our region districts any national into hospital bia obi ebeba be reporting of any symptoms like that no or be quarantine nipa kono so that they work on the person into from mama any ehuni e was that so yeah very important.
I'm not cutting you, but I just want to reiterate and stress on that point again, since we don't want any of our friends, relations and family to contract that disease. Let me go over it again, possibly in English. The virus is transmitted to humans through contact with food or household items contaminated with rodents urine or feces. Lassa virus may also spread between humans through direct contact with blood, urine, feces, or bodily fluids of a person infected with Lassa fever. It is also believed that sexual transmission of the virus has also been reported. Like Abena said, the early symptoms of the Lassa fever may include fever and general weakness. Persons may later have a headache, sore throat, muscle pain, chest pain, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, cough, or abdominal pains. In severe cases, there may be bleeding from the mouth, nose, vagina, or stomach. And death usually occurs within 14 days of onset in fatal cases. But that means these are usual symptoms that most of us feel when
exactly
it cuts across a lot of ailments. So how do we
but now we know that there's this virus when you feel feverish, don't go to the pharmacy and go and buy and I mean can say you need to report at the hospital now or won't take you sample normal share if they say there's no Lassa virus and also you treat you for malaria and as a fever.
That's right.
Then you go your way.
That's right.
But we need to be safe. Why? Yeah.
That's right.
Hygiene no here. And then Ghana Education Service and so the statement to be about abonting. Last week we were talking about prospectus. Our phone complaining. Most parents are complaining say the things on the prospectus palos. Last week Obidi or this sending me from school. So monfa yimra dustbin. Onim dustbin I saw mon famra. Zoom lion type of dustbin. The tie was here no. Me na me catch them. The tie was here ni bi na yesi akola bi am famra say 1,000 children at this.
Yeah, so you have
master no the yede. Obenya dan kwa de aguma na. NTGS for senior yensu enya ntie no they almost so about omo eho says na headmasters ni bi and indeed enema government no crowd their cost schools and say yemfa mankwala as part of the free education. Some of the headmasters are selling to the children any omo awofo enti omo say reports are omanya no now they've started investigating it enche now, and
I would suggest a very harsh punishment.
And
whoever is found culpable.
No headmaster is supposed to sell anything
at all.
Bibi anywhere headmaster may say yes. I could be there last week or this Sunday. Yes, so I'm tossican machete miensa 3 rake 3 aso 3 more bucket 3.
Just one student. And to say a school can set such motor school now would over 2,000 children. What they maybe they are creating a ministry of agric. An extension of Ministry of Agric. I don't know.
So GS said senior NCRT reports in Abena. They've also taken notice of that and they are going to work towards that. They should. Mampeni this weekend say bakuna bana ofri mu no omo ye final ado ama no
okay
na mampeni akwa na baso papa wo kire se oye nipa bia na opasumdue
yagbonwura
yagbonwura wakwa bona baso se oye nipa bia na opasumdue na bakuna banso so ne mampeni ahia e na o se obekoswara na wa masumdue atena boko ene ne mpotem honum ntie no so ho asem statement de obokrata no ediaba Lassa fever ne de yaka kire yesidu hu ni na sa yiwe uboso achim akokwaso mining omanfo na no mo okrom ho no mo se omo enim se ya mo tumi krata omo de beba beye se adwuma no wo ho nti Minerals Commission ene adwuma no ene omanfo no mo okrom ho ne nananom last weekend omo ye deba. Now they've been able to explain things to them. A moment who say they have a friend is saying license Kencity Media to mining and also so oman for no Agyapong.
Okay.
I will take chronicle na fe de na wedding komo. Sesi a judge na o te said na tamaklo ationu na semination former Maslow boss no.
Okay.
Or say wa establish system amene wadwane. Enti asem no omo ba bedi in absentia.
Okay.
Omo ba bedi in absentia ne che say oni ho ba yedi nasem. Economic and Financial Division of the Accra High Court. Appeals Court Judge Justice Efiase Wasaribuchi and Etina Dwamuno. And last week in the court no kwasesa no say former CEO no da Maslow no said nam tamaklo ationu wadwane. Just a bibia de say maame no onya kwan tete ne ho ko US no so o magana biem enti wadwane dia asenie dia asem dia mpro enti se dia tie bia na yebekoso dia asem no enti wasi wagina article 193A no so say they are going to try her in absentia. Now, answer na way be bana na omo kodi na kagine mu na omo ko standing in for the bill no. Court na she says sika na ye de 2 it is 50,000. 50 million 50,000 one of them. They should come and pay. Or Alex Mode neighbor could be or can. They should pay to the court. And to say see ade bibia there they say wadwane. On person you better try no but you better try.
The court exercised patience though.
Yeah.
Because over a long time she wasn't coming to court and the sureties the Attorney General had already suggested that the sureties be allowed to face the full rigors
5
of the law.
million Ghana cedis. Yes. 5
so
million.
I'm sure they forfeited the sureties because they can't produce the two guys, Atumold and Gavivina Tamaklo. Yes. I'm sure they will have forfeited their sureties of 5 million. That's cool chop money for the state.
Yes. Sir, Mamma no want to produce no. Omo back court you be say omo say Mamma no we ya omo say omo ntenenka or here omo nim enti to see ade asem na omo bedi say de tie bia. Now weekend you be told just say a military officer bi ayena. But you see ehunu nyame adom ehunu. I see no why week in that classroom bi wo senya break.
Now how did he manage to move from Burma camp to
that place no
without there's a huge chunk of the story missing? That's why I'm interested in. Why is it a public issue in the first place when any officer from the military travels to a different part of the country? Why is it news? Was he really missing? Was he kidnapped? How did he manage to end up? Is he in the right state of mental health? These are all questions we should be asking.
But see, I know de free Winneba. So about I know de call trauma hospital hall. I know de about 37. Until Oma handing over to Soja phone.
Okay.
Well.
So we asked
Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah. So we think the public relations unit of the Ghana Armed Forces, we want to know more about these things. Because Kwesinis in crowd to make a brief or but still he comes back to work the next day. So I don't know why this Lieutenant Colonel cry. Now when we page 3 of the Daily Guide.
Okay.
You say Mahama attacks Jin and EC. I mean, share which of the Mahamas and which attack on the Jin and the EC. So on page 3 of the Daily Guide, David Bampo reports that former President John Dramani Mahama has renewed his criticism of the Electoral Commission led by Jin Mensa, charging that it lacks credibility. Anyway, the story goes on and on. You grab a copy of the Daily Guide, turn to page 3, and the story is there.
I think Assemblies of God, Reverend Ranger Macy. I think so. And he says so many things. Or say clergy na okrom hana yo mo says abanbi was wa omo kasa abanbi ba so dia omo kasa. And he was making reference to a former moderator of Presby. Papa is a Reverend Marty. Say, only pension. Papa be can say nyansafo e mu wahini o. This time round they were e bisa na was say text message na I no send him up. And one money papa ni but we know say ono na sem no kan. You know, enti no ma clergy no mo enka ma no ntum na clergy for no mo krom ha no. And ma kan ma no atum under this government and
How?
So what is he talking about?
Well, maybe he assumes all governments are the same.
No.
But I don't think it's...
When to electricity bill, now should they sit down?
One should be a candle back.
Hey, any day they won't sit down.
No.
We will tell you.
Yeah.
And you know. Well.
Right. Maybe let's wrap up the conversation on our neighbor Nigeria. What do you think? Are you an obedient or a Tinubu or try Atiku. Which one are you?
In fact, me support Obia. But Papa, I cannot to about no mass so much when you need it. But that's one one. Yeah, that's one the baby new.
Yeah.
But they are tight.
Very tight.
Very, very tight.
Very tight.
Yeah, sure.
What we are hoping for is that it will end just as it started, peaceful.
Yeah.
Because
generally, no, it has been peaceful. Even though there are some areas the course when it was bad.
Yeah.
But observers can say generally it has been peaceful. We hope that finally, if the results are declared, it will continue to be like that.
Right.
Nigeria. They are neighbors.
Definitely.
First point of call.
Medina first. Yeah. Right. So this brings down the conversation between myself and Abena Kwekuma on the newspaper reviews segment. And the show still remains the dialogue with me, Paulus. Like I said earlier, I'm sitting in for your regular host, Uwahini Enchiboisiakon. Today, he's unable to join us. In a jiffy or in a moment, I'll be joined by the regional organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Felix Ade, who will be expanding on some of the issues that Abena Kwekuma and I have already touched on in the newspaper.